Let's talk about things as if people care what we think. Let's do that.
Do that.
So the first thing is in reference to Trump supporters saying it, because you have to keep that in mind with this first thing. Like, you could read a quote and it could feel nice and, uniting and gooey, but you have to think of it from like the perspective. Anyways, Trump supporters saying that we can have different choices and still show respect, keep it real, keep it solid, unity over division. And again, in a vacuum, like, you read this and you're like, oh yeah, that's nice. Like, that's what you should do. Like, that's true. Like, whoever said this isn't wrong. The problem is when you see it as a Trump supporter saying it, like Trump, and this is what kills me over the last few years. I wonder what you guys think about this too, about people saying like, I'm so tired of the divisiveness, and they say they're going to vote for Trump. It's like, that's where a lot of it comes from. Hello? Like, I don't think we can say all of it. We can discuss how much it comes, but yeah, this is tough when it comes from a Trump supporter because the person they're supporting doesn't exhibit this at all. So I hope I'm wrong. But yeah. Any thoughts at all?
So it does feel at best insincere. I mean,
right.
You don't want to lump everybody into one fucking basket, but I feel like if you're supporting Trump at this point, like, you should have to wear the baggage of what the last 4 years of his administration was. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously unity is something you can just go, oh yeah, obviously.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Right. Like, yeah, that's such an obvious thing. But when you take it into context of how things have been, right? Like, there was, 2022, some fucking nut job broke into Nancy Pelosi's house.
Oh, yeah, we've all heard this 100 times, yeah.
Right. Fucking clobbered Paul Pelosi in the head with a fucking hammer. And
terrible.
I feel like you would find that most average voters would have zero fucking clue that happened. So this is the husband of the Democratic leader of the House at the time. Who got fucking beat in the head with a hammer because of conspiracy theories spread online that are just sort of part and parcel of everyday life as a conservative who is online.
Right.
Because to them it was some... I don't even remember what the rationale was. It was like Paul Pelosi had some gay lover, and this was some, like, homosexual dispute at 2 a.m., and I don't know. It was just, like, they just made a fucking clown show of what was obviously a very serious thing.
And that's, that's the point. Like, the same people that say this need to exhibit that behavior, but we don't live in those times, right? We just don't. We don't.
I just, like, sentimentally, I agree with the statement, and, like, I will accept the fact that Trump is the president of the U.S. from 24 to 28. And that is what we chose, but to get upset about the rhetoric at this point just seems so fucking disingenuous as a Trump supporter. Because it's never been nice. Like,
yeah, I know. I don't.
It's courtesy. Like, it's never been that way.
The people.
Why would you expect that?
Right. The people that pay the most attention are so online that even when they win, they still have to get back online and, like, keep. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's like just a disease, bro. Just a disease. It's like these people constantly chase bullshit, even when they win. So, but also, you know that, like, the Trump campaign wasn't really about policy too much anyways. So it's all about vibes and, And
yeah, I think the part that upset me the most about all of them, 16 when Trump won, 20 when Trump lost, and now 24 when Trump won again, was there is a sort of like people take relish, like they engage with the media that shows the other people sort of mourning their loss. It's just a fucking
Yeah,
spectator
it's
sport.
it's
It's like,
crazy,
oh, look at these
man.
people who are so triggered by the fact that they lost.
Right.
Like, ooh, that's just like mustard
It's
for my sandwich. Like, let's go, boy.
it's all
I love this.
it's all bad
It's
faith.
so unhealthy.
I know, dude. It's all bad faith. And again,
It
it
really
continues to come back.
is.
It continues to come back to this quote and this point. It's like the same
Yeah.
people that post this shit are the same people that are like massively divisive and can never log off. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
Chronically online. Yeah.
yeah. But
Well,
you
so
know,
that's why I just
yeah.
can't. I can't take it. And like, here's the thing too: is if
Mhm.
like if we're being real,
Mhm.
Democrats lost. They
Correct.
lost more than just the electoral. They lost the popular vote. And come January 6th,
It's
when this vote is cemented into sort of our procedures as a Congress, as a country, like nothing's gonna fucking happen. So it's just like it's kind of it's tiring to assume. It's tiring to just see the different responses and then like people still have some shit to say about, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like the
It's bad
election of
faith.
Trump,
It's bad faith.
January 6th just gets all swept under the carpet. Like we're supposed to
I
just
know,
take
dude.
that
It's so
as
dumb.
like
Yep.
just a hiccup in the process. Where that was
Yeah.
that was an attempt at actually subordinating the process, at
Yeah.
like subverting what is supposed to happen.
It makes me think of
And
someone.
it just feels like a passive like approval of it
Yeah.
almost.
Because they never. Yeah.
He still hasn't
Especially when they get all uppity
conceded.
about like, dude, I saw something online the other day that was like someone who like tweeted out Kamala Harris supporters crying on election night, and they were just like making
Yeah,
fun
of
of them.
course, because it's all just.
And it's
Yeah,
like, look,
right.
if Kamala Harris supporters cry and move on, that's better than January 6th thing the government. I like,
But it's just such an odd thing for you to be at
it's
home
weird, man.
and just like slowly stroking it to a video of
Dude,
Kamala Harris
it's-
supporters crying.
It's just
And, like that's such a it's such
It's
a
tough.
weird
It's
way
tough.
to engage in your
And
politics.
people-
It's so bad faith. It's so cynical. It's so.
Mhm.
It's just gross. It's a toxic manner of like engaging with your politics.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like November 6th, the person I wanted lost, and I just carried on with my fucking day. And yeah, I'm grumpy and I'm upset, but like that's about it.
Dude, it's funny
To
too
sort of
because like
slow stroke yourself to people's misery about their chosen candidate losing just feels so cynical and gross to me. Like I just can't even.
and like there's a couple things we're way off the topic, but there's a couple things I take solace in. Accelerationism, which you were champion of early, and now it needs to be a part of my hopefulness. But also the fact that like I don't know, like Donald Trump is still Donald Trump. He's not some like surgical political know-it-all that does want to serve the purpose of power for like Christian nationalists and billionaires. I think Donald Trump is the thing that might save us from utter like garbage is the fact that Donald Trump will serve himself. And so that chaos might kind of like overthrow conservative policy in favor of Trump just liking chaos and being a complete and fucking utter crazy person. So those are the two things that I have a little hope on, you know. We'll see. Yeah, the House looks like it'll be a slim majority. The Senate is bigger than I thought it'd be, but it's a slim majority. So hopefully they cut each other's throats 90 days in and they can't do shit. But we'll see.
Is when people make politics their identity.
Yeah, it's tough. It's pretty grotesque.
Oh.
I think if you make any one thing your identity, you're weird. It's a little strange. I don't want to even hate. Like we're not hating, right? No. But
I'm hating. I'll hate.
all right, go ahead. I mean, it's fair. I'm not gonna like.
Good.
I definitely
So
lean.
this
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
like this boils back down to the conversations we've had about informed voters. Because
Oh boy.
to me, like the bigger issue we're dealing with these days is people who think they're informed.
Sure.
And yet they've just been like fed a stream of misinformation.
Yeah.
So to me, that is a voter that is useless. They are noise.
But why does that misinformation work?
They're noise. Why? Because we live in a country where like those pipelines are allowed to exist. The government has no right to regulate them.
But we're not.
Or they can, but it's kind of antithetical to what we're supposed to
no.
believe
I
in.
agree with that. What I mean is, like, what is the driving force to believe such blatant misinformation, and/or what's the driving force to vote for such misinformation? That's maybe not believe, but
it's cynicism for sure.
Well, maybe, but don't you think inflation was still sitting in people's mouths, like the pricing?
It's
like
that's factor. Yes,
yeah, it's definitely
100%
a
factor.
factor. How much I don't know.
But when you look at like young people, and when you look at like Latino men, like young men and Latino men in particular, voting for the conservative ticket, to me, a lot of that is cynicism. It is somebody is painting you a picture of society and telling you why it's fucking awful. And it is a solicitation of their vote because of those reasons. So it's just cynicism.
Minimum wage is still $7.25, and median rent is like, I don't know. You got
$1,400.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is like, how much do you need to make to even barely make ends meet with minimum median rent? There you go. There's your problem right there. Shit is not that hard. Wave a magic wand and bam. There you go. Also, let's be unity, folks. That's what we learned there. All right, the second thing. Let's be unity. We should all unity. No, you need a unity
We should
hard.
all unity.
We should unity together. Unity together. Okay, anyways. Got the other side of it. Harris supporters. And this is an example post. If you voted for the rapist, we are not friends. We are not family. I don't care what my relationship with you was. It means nothing to me now. Just stay away from me forever. And all this makes me think of is the fact that I always say, and I used to always say in these videos I would make too, that you cannot just like paint a group of people as one thing. Like that doesn't help society ever. When people are racist and they universally hate like black and brown people, they are bad people. And I think the same thing with this. Like this is not like, if we do this, then what kind of a country do you have? You know what I'm saying? That's my thoughts on this every single time I see it, no matter where it comes from. It's just like, listen, like, it may pain you to see someone get elected, but it doesn't mean like majority of the people electing that person are just like terrible people. Like that's just not true. It's I'm not going to say it's like racism. We're not equating these things, but like it's not good. It's not unity, folks. Go ahead, Chad, sorry.
Well, so this is what sort of I had scrolled down real quick, but I do believe this is that the take ultimately is trash. So again, it's if you voted for the rapist, we are not friends. We are not family. I don't care what my relationship with you was. It means nothing to me now. Just stay away from me forever. It's just unhelpful. And I think somebody who takes that position is pointing their anger completely in the wrong direction. Because your issue, at the end of the day, there isn't with somebody who votes conservative. It's with the fact that, your Democratic Party couldn't sell a winning message.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but...
And B, that, like, they're not marketing. If you're upset with the fact that you're losing the information war, it's because, like, the information isn't good enough. It's not because people are shitty. Because to me, at the end of the day, like, 80% of your voters are people who just genuinely, unironically want the best for American society. And they're just picking the thing that seems to be the right answer for what it is they're looking for. So it's not because people are retarded or racist. Oh, I just said that. It's because people are, and they have misgivings about what it is they think will be the solutions to the problems we have. right? Like, you
No, of
can't
course,
just, like,
of course.
paint those people with a broad brush.
Right,
It's
and
not
that's the point.
useful. It's a pointless. Like, yeah, I understand you're upset and your anger is visceral and you want to point it in some direction, but this is so counterproductive. It is so counterproductive.
Yeah.
This is a chunk of what will cause you to lose the next election by being this
But
particular way.
let me ask you this follow-up.
Honestly.
A person who posts this in due time, do they regret? Let's just say in general, a person that would post this. So it's not every single person, but in general, a person that would post this in due time would come to regret a little bit this statement. And I think over time, things, when they're less raw with emotions, things tend to generally come back to the same byline. Because even if you're the biggest Trump hater or the biggest Kamala hater, you know someone in your life that you either somewhat or all the way respect that does like them. Does that make sense to you, or no? Do you say no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I could find people that voted for Trump this past election that are leagues smarter than me. I just
definitely.
think they have a failure of understanding of the remedies for what ails us, right?
Yeah.
And like they would say the same about me. So like I just think like I don't know. There are plenty of people, Nick Fuentes, for example, who are just honestly just ill-intentioned people. But most people that voted in Donald Trump this past election have genuine concerns, and to them, this is the answer to it. So your failure isn't with people who voted Trump in. Your failure is with Democrats who couldn't sell their message. That is where your anger should be pointed.
Yes. If you want to point anger, yeah. But I always move to just like, how do you begin to build that other thing that will work? I don't worry about whatever, dude. Regrets are what the fuck they are.
Well, the question is here, like, why did Republicans sweep it so handily? Why did they convince enough?
I told you why I think they did the other day. I'm not a part of that party, so they should be hopefully figuring it out. If they don't, then. But here's the thing: do you think that a Democratic Party that doesn't get more progressive populist, that still runs on like a more liberal kind of platform? I hate to say liberal because I am a liberal. If you know the definition, liberal isn't like a slur, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You think they could win another election? I still think they could. You don't think Donald Trump could somehow fuck shit up and then like they win midterms and then they win the presidency next time? Like,
I think
but that
Kamala
sucks.
is uniquely bad.
But that sucks because then like the shit that you talk about, and we're way off track, but who gives the shit that you talk about is depressing because like you would hope that accelerationism happens, but we're not guaranteed. We could get fucking Gavin Newsom 28 winning. And then we sit here and we're just like, yeah, Gavin Newsom, shrug. Don't really like him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think responses tend to be proportional. So
They do.
When an uninhibited Trump does whatever the fuck he wants for 2 years, I think the response will be proportional.
And look, they could.
So unless they actually adjust the machinations of like what makes our democracy function, he's gonna have a majority for 2 years, and then he's going to have not a House or a Senate for 2 years. Trump, absolutely. And that's just assuming he makes it to 4 years, which I don't even think he will.
If you think through trying to be logical, I don't think that like he's not gonna like destroy the system necessarily, but he could make choices that could lead to it. So let's say this, like, and I don't do. Yes. We don't. Again, this is why this is all garbage. Nobody cares about our opinion, nor should they, because we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah,
but
I hate your opinion,
and I hate yours. Now that being said,
what
stops them from passing some federal law where they say these are the maps now, and they're gerrymandered fucking maps in every state across the country for Congress? Like, is that possible?
Yes.
A federal law where they're just like, go fuck yourself? Now, look,
potentially, I do feel like, as awful as the Supreme Court is, they actually ruled in favor of a certain.
That's true.
So, like, they're not totally partisan. There are degrees of like sanctimony there. There's not many, but there are some. So I just don't know that they'll fully nuke the political process. I just don't think that'll happen.
There's the Voting Rights Act, dude. I had been drinking all sheesh. Anyways, there's the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Hello?
But this is just a law. Like,
So
I thought maybe
some-
the Voting Rights Act
Yep.
was like an amendment, which is harder. You can't just get around amendments. Is like that's right? That's tricky.
Yeah,
Like
2/3. Yeah.
So it looks like this is just a
Constitutional
law.
amendment,
So
for
I don't
sure.
know. They could just be like, "Hey, everyone's gerrymandered now, ha ha." You know what I'm saying? And then we're all just like, "Ha ha, okay."
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. As awful as the people Trump nominated are, and as partisan as they clearly are, I feel like there are some things that truly are red lines that are bipartisan. So I just don't. The people who say democracy is over
That's not true.
because Trump won, I
But
just
it could look
don't
mad
believe
different.
it.
It could look mad different though.
Well,
Could look
I
mad
do
different.
believe that the FDA is going to be completely different if not eliminated. The Department of Education's gone. I think federal Pell Grants for college education
tough.
is gone.
Hey, we got
think
in there
there
when we could
will
then.
be national abortion ban. I think birth control will be outlawed within the first 2 years.
Birth
I
control will
think
be
at least
outlawed,
5
dude.
mil-
The backlash to birth control outlawed would be unbelievable. Really, you think?
Backlash what, bitch? What are you going to do about it when they have full control for 2 years?
I just mean like,
That's what I'm saying is, like, they don't give a fuck.
yeah, but you don't think that then the Democrats would win the House in the midterms and like
Here's the thing.
that's gonna be
These
embroiled in legal battles and
Republican... No, it won't. It will not because it'll get
won't?
fast-tracked to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme
Maybe.
Court's going to just fucking rubber stamp
they're gonna
it. I
say
can
they're gonna.
promise
But
you
hang
that.
on, you're telling
I can
me
promise you that.
you. All right, let's take it easy. If you want to promise me this, then please do. But you're telling me.
Let's take bets. I'm ready.
You're telling me no. I keep losing to you, so we want to stay neutral now. We're not gonna stay losing. We're not gonna stay
Yeah,
losing.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Walls
I
getting
was happy to pay you. It was good. It was a good prediction. You don't think or you actually think that they would outlaw contraceptives and that wouldn't be there wouldn't be some sort of like women take that to regulate themselves even like it's not even just for like you don't I don't know you don't think that there would be some
Yes.
more massive backlash from women like you don't at all like I mean there might not be I mean fuck they just lost in a way but
I think the ghouls that are around Trump with the zero inhibition and the unchecked executive
okay that's
power,
fine but tell me how much backlash you think there would be then that's what I'm more interested in.
What
If you-
I'm saying is they're going to take the next 2 years
okay.
and they're going to pretend like to them it's going to be okay. There is a fucking wave coming of people removing conservative power from the Congress. They are going to move fast. They're going to move quick. They are going to do all of it as much as they can. I can promise you that. So if you want to say birth control doesn't get outlawed in the first 2 years, fine. But Plan B will. There will be a national abortion ban.
Definitely Plan B.
There-
Sure. I do
have-
think there'll be like a national 15-week abortion. I don't think they
That's
could get a
what I'm
6-week
saying.
through.
How long do you think it'll take?
I don't
for
think
them
they
to
could get a
that?
6-week through, dude.
1 year.
They have yet to
You
win the
give it-
House. They have yet to win the House. Now they're probably
Bro, they're
but-
going to win the House.
It's
Stop
it's
fucking
getting
with
way
me.
closer than you think. It is
You wanna
getting
put a
wa-
bet on it?
No, I'm
Put a bet
not. But the projection
wanna put a
the
bet
projection right now is 220 to 215, which means you can only have 3 defections for any motherfucking thing you want to pass, bro. And the Republicans
That
are a
is
weird outfit,
closer
bro.
than I thought it would be.
Now look,
That is
what are
closer
we
than
gonna
I
do?
thought it would be.
And we're getting way off track, but we could just ramble because that's what we're here for.
Sure.
The fucking idea that Trump is gonna be that different. Like let's talk about are they just
I'm
gonna
done
keep
with you.
are they just gonna keep
Done with you.
increasing the military budget $40 billion every year just like Democrats have been doing and they have been doing for years? They're gonna keep. What do you think he's gonna do? Like the military is gonna be the same. It's gonna go up $80 billion every year. They'll
can
cut some
rattle off
taxes
you right
for rich
now.
people. You feel me? They'll cut some taxes for rich people, and then I think it's gonna be harder than you think to pass shit through the House.
No,
Now
you're
look,
wrong.
I did
You're
read
wrong.
this thing today where he asked
You're
the
absolutely
Senate
wrong.
to not even he doesn't want the Senate to approve his cabinet recommendations. He wants the Senate to just say like, "Hey, you're good. You can do whatever you want." Did you see that today? That's tough.
I didn't see that. I'm sure. Well, he's got to get through like 2,000 nominations, Senate confirmation, and it is a fucking process. But here's my thing, right? Like, Supreme Court said, "Hey, executive power has almost no checks," right?
He
is going to run an administration that is leagues different from his administration from 16 to 20. Everybody reasonable has fucked off because 2020, January 6th, was a goddamn shit show and a genuine attempt at a coup.
Sure.
All of the reasonable people, they're gone. They've fucking left. So, unchecked executive power. You have people like Stephen Miller, who is an absolute ghoul.
Stephen Miller.
Trump's not going to check him, and Stephen Miller's not going to check Trump. Mm-hmm. It's going to be everybody just given a blank check of executive power, and they're just going to run rampant. So the first, 180 to 360 days, honest to God, you're going to see some fuck shit. I can promise you that. Now, I don't know how the Supreme Court's going to respond to it.
So you think 2025 is going to be a dark year, right? Is that what you think?
Yes. Okay. I think 25 to 27 is going to be fucking... Sorry. 25 to 26 is going to be fucking...
Yeah, but at some point they got to chill if they want to win another election, right? They got to... You can't just keep...
Yes, but I don't... Yeah, you're right. You are right. I don't know how that manifests, honestly. Right. I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, look, how much do you think it mattered? Let's say, okay, so I'm seeing a projection here. 220 Republicans, 215 Democrats. They got, 53 senators, 47 senators for the Senate. How much do you think they can get through? How bold can they be with those margins? 5 in the House and 3 in the Senate.
With an unchecked executive power, I think Trump's going to do a lot of executive bullshit.
Okay, so you think it's going to come from the executive? Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes. I don't know. You'll see some legislative
So let me ask you this. Let's do a fun question.
And it will pass, like a national abortion ban, as far as I'm concerned. But
with 5-seat majority, maybe only 15 weeks.
With a stroke of a pen.
Yeah. No, it's true. I just think it won't be like a 6-week because with a 5-seat majority, I just don't see it in the House. I think there's got to be some sort of... And here's the thing, too. Are they going to nuke the filibuster? Because we don't know how this shit works. Like, you can only get through certain things with the whatever the fuck it's called. You can do that like thing in the Senate where you only need a simple majority. I don't remember what it's called. But Bernie tried to slip in a bunch of progressive things after 2020 into like what is it called? Hang on. But then some like Senate person reviews it and like strips things out of it. It's so weird. When I read it, I was like, "What is this?" Simple. I'll look at it, but it's definitely going to be an interesting thing to watch. Trump, and let's hit your number 3 here just real quick. I know you typed out what does a post-Trump Republican Party look like before he won, but. But still, that question. But I think that question is still an interesting one with slim majorities in the House and Senate, which you think doesn't matter. Do you think Trump would executive order himself into another term, or do you think he will leave? Let's start with that. Okay, no. Okay, so then don't you think the Republican Party has a problem when they're in the top of their ticket won by so much this year, but Michigan still went Democrat Senate, Wisconsin still went Democrat Senate, Nevada still went Democrat Senate, Arizona still went Democrat Senate. So I think Trump does better than Republicans. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I agree. I don't think I think a J.D. Vance on the ticket loses to Kamala Harris, if I'm being honest.
I think it's close. I think it's close.
It's close.
But that's fair.
But it was...
That's fair.
I just don't... I'm not convinced. I think Trump is definitely their meal ticket.
Yeah.
So they have to figure out a way to sell their case in the next 2 years to run Vance in 28.
Okay, all the fuckery, and you don't think he's going to try to get him another term. That's interesting. I mean, he is old as
No, he's old. He don't give a fuck. He just wants to get out of the court cases and make sure his family's well off.
So we'll see.
That's all he gives a shit. Yeah,
fine. Now he'll just milk. That's all he's going to do.
Correct.
He's just going to
Which is why I'm saying...
The man doesn't even have to worry about getting reelected if you're to be believed. So he just can milk.
He
It's
doesn't
all
give a
milk,
fuck.
baby.
But he's gonna watch Fox
all
News.
milk,
he's
baby. You got
he's gonna like interject here or there, and he's just gonna leave it up to the Stephen Millers of the world, who are just awful fucking people. So that's what we have to look forward to.
True.
And like at the end of the day, like the Republican Party has to kind of slap together an argument for why they deserve it again in 28, and it's not gonna be Trump. It's not. It's gonna be fucking JD Vance. So, the Democratic Party has to figure out a way to not fucking suck absolute cock from here to there. And they're going to win, by the way, in 26, just by default. Because I'm telling you, Trump's going to do some stupid shit.
Who do you is going to run? Who do you think's going to win on the Democrat side, yeah?
Gavin Newsom.
I don't know that it'll be Newsom. Newsom will be out there.
He said who's going to run? Gavin Newsom's going to run.
But yeah, Newsom, Buttigieg will.
Yeah,
Fetterman may.
Dude, Fetterman.
Did Fetterman just lose his seat?
I don't think Fetterman will, dude. No.
Did he just
no,
lose
Bob.
his
No,
seat?
Bob Casey did. No, I don't think Fetterman's gonna run, dude. No. He had a stroke, and then since his stroke,
You might be surprised.
Man, he's.
Here we go. Since his stroke, he's pro-Israel.
No, since his stroke, do you think he wants to go through another campaign? What? What the fuck? Okay. He is pro-Israel. He does have some problematic views, but he kind of always has. He's never been like I've known him. Yeah. So that doesn't what he's done hasn't surprised me too much.
Sure.
And I think too he might be vindicated a little bit. Well, I don't want to say vindicated because it kind of makes him spineless when I say this, but I mean if he knew Pennsylvania was heading in a more redder direction anyways, but that's a little spineless, but
oh my
what can you do?
God. Good God almighty.
What?
Brooklyn.
Sorry, just a moment.
Just a moment.
Oh boy. Alright, I think we've been cruising anyways. That's what we'll cut it. Nice half hour.